All right, we'll go ahead and call our meeting to order at 6:31. And welcome everyone. Alicia is not here today. We have Dave online and our favorite friends back. Yay. It doesn't look like we have Jerry here tonight. So why don't we jump to our guest? Mike, do you want to say your piece? You're here. Share with us. We're glad you're here.
Good evening, commissioners. Let me introduce myself. My participation this evening is just to come give you an update and calm everyone's nerves about the music for Arts at the Creek. Both bands are locked in and I'm actively communicating with them. I just asked Alex for template for contract so we can get that firmed up.
Do you think 2 bands is going to be enough? Do we want to squeeze in like another like performer of some kind?
Well, we can definitely reach out to Rick and Barb. I sort of check in with them every few months and they're, I mean, really, because we are doing a bunch of stuff up at Stone Circle as well, and they have music acts almost monthly up there. So I've met quite a few people that do the more 2 and 3 piece sort of acoustic stuff. And Rick and Barbara up there too. So I'll make sure and reach out. We can get them kind of in, maybe have them do a couple things, or just stretch out that sort of in between the big bands a little bit.
Can you tell me what the timing is for those? Have you firmed that up with the bands?
1 to 3, or
For Casimir?
more like 12:30 to 2:30, and then 3:30 to 6 is the other band, is what I'm gonna say.
Cody.
Well, it was the lead that whoever reached out to Deborah, and then she forwarded me the information.
I forwarded you the information.
It was you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came from Alex. I think it was a Facebook message. It's like a local band that came through. Yeah.
Yeah, so they do kind of like traditional Americana covers, a lot of covers, a couple originals. But they seem to be extremely talented. That is Alan Myers. What's the name? Oh no. Yeah, anyways. That seems to be, oh here, I'm sorry, Cody Allen and the Crossroads. And they're going to be a 6-piece for the event.
Oh, that's cool.
So it should be kind of sort of what that afternoon crowd is in search of.
Cool. I wanted to include the bands on like our promotional stuff coming up. So I wanted to ask about that.
No problem.
Cool. All right.
That's about it.
And just, we have a quorum here, with Dave online, and we have your application here. I think that's obviously a bit of a formality. Can I go ahead and, put forth a motion to approve Mike as a commissioner, to put him forth as a commissioner? And could I get a second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. And we will put forth that nomination. It sounds like at City Council next Monday. I will show up at City Council to put forth that nomination in person. So I just want to let everybody know that. All right. Mike will be happy to have you back in whatever capacity we get you.
It doesn't make any difference to me what side of the desk is.
Well, that's part of why we love you. All right. And Vince?
Yeah.
Do we want to check in about this now? Can we go over the minutes and financials real quick, just so we can tick this off our list? Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys want to take a minute, if you haven't looked yet at the minutes, just to do a quick.
Just so I'm on the record, I'll move to approve the minutes as circulated.
I'll second it.
All right, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Lovely. And our financial statement is just reflecting our vendor fees, which there have been a whole lot of them. I'm super excited to even update about Hearts at the Creek. We have like a ton of vendors already.
Mhm.
I'm really excited. And the showing of how many people have paid already is exciting because that really like confirms their participation. Like I have 30 applications and
Hmm.
that's not including youth. Last year we had, I think, a total of 27 or 28 total, including youth. So, yeah, it's great. It's a really great pool and we'll see. And I'm still working on recruiting the youth.
Sorry to jump in. For vendors, Olga is she's trying to figure out if she's gonna have her sanctuary fundraiser on the same day.
Yeah, I sent her a message about it.
Okay, so I talked to her last week about it too, because she's also asking for my help out there. I'm trying to sort of nudge her towards,
Because she had posted something online about it, and I was like, hey, if you change the date, we'd love to have you. Like, you could come and have a booth as a community
that's
organization.
what I was gonna ask, is if her sanctuary could have some space if she
Totally.
renegotiates her
Yeah, yeah.
sanctuary.
When we're still definitely looking for community partners. So
Okay.
I think right now we have about 8. We haven't gotten Ant Farm back yet. I just got the contact information. Let's pop to that in a minute.
Okay.
But there's room
I
for
sort of
that.
like, I wouldn't say promised that to her, but I was like, well, maybe you just want to come down and table for the
Yeah,
sanctuary.
I already suggested online too,
Okay.
so we're on the same page.
Thank you.
So yeah, the financial statements are just the grant and vendor fees, which is great. And that also reflects the Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace donation. Who continue to support us, which is wonderful. So we did our commissioner applications already, and then I promised Vince we would chat about the passport so he could be in and out.
I don't have to leave till like, I got 11 minutes till I gotta get going.
Awesome. Well, the coloring page looks amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is like, this is like a little bit more simplistic than the last time around. Sorry, Dave. Yeah, just like a little bit more legible. Anyway, this is just the hand-on original one right here. But just let me know if you guys want anything changed, or if it's too much, or like something added to it, taken away from it, I guess. But did you get the email and a copy of it?
Yep, everyone's looking at it
Okay, cool. Awesome.
right now.
So I didn't add MacGyver Park and stuff. So like there's a couple things that I've already changed on there from that one as well.
My only wondering about it was, I wonder if we should take off the Campanella, Cascadia, Reagan Hill.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because those are like the names of subdivisions and we don't even have like uptown or downtown and people are kind of touchy about the subdivisions.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Anyhow,
If
I wonder if the only labels in town are
it's
like
super
the new
easy to just write-
developments.
I could white those out and do it. That's easy, super easy.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that was my personal only thought was that if we're gonna add labels, it should be different kinds of labels. But honestly, I think if you just took those all the way out and there weren't labels, that would be fine too.
The actual, the OG spots for sure. That
That was my only thought.
works for me. Yeah, for sure. That's super easy to change.
But you could keep the North Fork and maybe zigzag.
Totally. Yeah. Can I just throw some more houses instead of having the wording there, I guess? That's cool. Awesome.
Does
That's super
anyone else
easy.
have thoughts or feedback on the picture first?
I think it's super fun.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make some little happy campers, like a lot of people, it's a good thing to get away from everything, just go camping, go backpacking or something, We're like right here, so it's perfect.
I
It's
think
very
it's
nice.
great. I think that maybe we should, not maybe, I really think that we should put your name on it.
Yeah, for sure. And,
Like, I think we should put a little like in the corner or something like art by Vincent Summer. or
yeah,
whatever you
for
put
sure.
in there.
Or I could put it on their shirts or something like that, or like in the corner. Yeah, I'll definitely add a little something, little signature to it.
Yeah, there should be a little thing in there that's saying like who did it, because it's really neat. Did you have any thoughts, Viv?
I could do a little
No, you're
teeny
gonna have,
tiny something, dude. Yeah.
I think if he's
a good idea.
resizing the type, if you're taking out some of the neighborhoods, you could have Estacada Passport duplicated here. It's
Oh,
on
like
this
right in the
side.
center of it?
Or
Yeah.
instead of saying
Yeah.
welcome to Estacada?
Yeah,
Or the Cascadia?
yes. So that Estacada and then with the type font of Summer Passport, that could be somehow on this side. I know it's on this side,
Yeah,
but if
like under
possible.
Estacada?
Yeah, like under Estacada, resize that a little
Or-
bit and just
yeah, of
have
course.
Summer Passport there. And that you're taking out some of the neighborhoods,
That's
Hmm.
cool.
just so it's branded on both sides.
That's a good idea.
And that's it.
And then on
Um,
the flip side, I simplified the text at the top to make it sure we had this like turn in by August 20th. I put just at the library.
Mhm.
Is that okay?
That's totally fine.
I feel like if we have it at one place, that's just a little simpler and just easier to put, easier to just communicate. Is that okay?
That's, yeah, and maybe we'll do a box and put it on the counter so that
Mhm.
Surf doesn't even have to deal with it, just,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
there's the box, put them in.
yeah. And then when we do a Facebook post, we could take a picture of the box and just say like, make it really obvious. So make it really, yeah, so it can be, and it could even be in that little, I don't know, in the front place too, if you don't want it on the counter. Whatever's easiest.
Okay.
Okay, I
That
put
would-
that there and then thought I'd ask later.
We'll check with,
Okay.
Sarah and see where she wants it.
Okay, and I added, just a couple things I added. I'm open to, totally open to whatever we want to change. I did add the 11th annual cruise in. That's run by the American Legion, which is a nonprofit, so it falls under the like free and we're not, promoting a business. Thought it'd be kind of like a fun other event to have on there. I just updated the information for the National Night Out. I'm gonna be renewing the library QR code is not up to date, so I'll fix that. And then at the last minute, I put like check out an ant farm class or event because they run a lot of things in our town and I feel like they don't always do the best job at promoting those or people don't see it as much. So I put that in there. Todos Juntos doesn't have a very organized way of seeing their events in the summer. But I had wondered about putting the early childhood day, but then I thought that is really specific to an age group. So like people with older kids wouldn't really want to do that. And yeah, they just, when I was looking around on their website and stuff, there wasn't like a really easy way to just be like, look on their website and do it. So I didn't include that.
I think it would be nice if there's one that's not highly rated on here, is to focus the new splash park at the parks.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
And I think it's interesting having outside, not in a negative way, but like ant farm and stuff, but if we could leverage what the city is doing, especially the splash park.
Since it's water related, should I take out the paddle or play on the Clackamas River and be like, check
Mhm.
out this splash pad or leave that one on?
I think I'd leave that.
Or it could be the
Um,
frozen treat
Mm-hmm.
or summer picnic, all of that kind of promotes the parks.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that.
that's a
It's a
great
big deal
idea.
and it was well attended
Well, and yeah, it's
when it
popular.
was
I've been there since
introduced,
then.
so.
Do you guys, if we were gonna put the splash pad in there, does anyone have any thoughts about like what one on there could be done away with? We do also have two 4th of July things. The parade and the fireworks are on there.
I'd keep both of those because they're really separate events
Mhm.
with separate sponsorship. You also have two library ones, so you could take one of the library ones off.
Oh, yeah, because there's the library summer meeting. Maybe that would be the one, since that's under the other library programs.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Pitch in, all voices welcome.
Just the QR code. Library events and the summer library are separate landing pages. They don't go to.
It would be, yeah.
They would be,
Especially since the library staff member is recommending that, I think.
Yeah, then we're
we could
okay.
Go with it, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'll take that one out and add the splash pad in. That's a great idea, Bev. Okay, splash pad. Any other thoughts about like the formatting or the wording at the top? I didn't really change much. And I just changed the color of like one thing to make it like different than last year.
Do you want me to throw a splash pad in there where like instead of the Campanella area?
Oh, you
That'd be
could.
good.
Yeah.
Little fountain area.
Sure.
I don't want to make it too clustered up. That's why I just kind of made it kind of random buildings and stuff.
Yeah, and my neighbors don't like having a lot of traffic in there either, so they're grumpy.
Yeah, that could be fun.
That works.
Mhm.
Any other
that could
thoughts
be easy
though?
to make.
Look okay otherwise? Need your editing eyes.
That's good.
Okay, I'll make sure that the QR codes are to the ready, and I've sent an email out to Danny Randall, who was all about helping us last year. We just didn't have our act together soon enough. But really, like, when do you think you could make the edits and bring it back round?
I could switch, like whatever those little switches are, I could do that, get that done this evening, so.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Pretty quick. That could be pretty quick. Yeah.
Okay,
That's great.
As
I'd
long
love-
as you're, yeah,
I'll just coordinate with Danny and find out like when we need to have it to the schools. My guess would be like the first week of June would probably be okay. So,
as long as that's printable, I'm just like scanning it from this original copy, so it's like, as long as it works, I could get a paint pen and make it darker too, so. Just let me know if it works. It looks like it's decent though, on those copies.
yeah, looks like, I mean, yeah, turned out great.
Nice.
Okay, great. Well, there's the summer passport. I'm excited to have this like done so much earlier. Perfect. Okay.
Gotta get to a work meeting.
Okay.
I gotta head out, guys, but
Okay, thank you for coming.
yeah,
That's awesome.
random short notice work meeting. It's great. But all right, see you guys.
All right,
Okay.
bye. Thank you.
Has Vincent left the design for the signs?
Oh, dude, I don't have the signs. Like, I did not bring the signs with me.
He did not bring the signs.
Oh, okay,
He'll email you.
all righty, okay.
You gotta get your homework, Vince.
I didn't want him to take it with him.
Awesome. Okay,
no, that one's good. That goes to the main event page.
this one is okay.
Yeah, that one's good.
Okay. But change the wording.
Mhm.
Change wording. Okay. Change text. Okay, great. Alicia's not here, but I'm happy to give the update on art in the park, which I really should have put back in there. They are putting it in there as Youth Makers Fair, and then parentheses, formerly art at the park. I think they have something like 10 youth vendors. They're making it a little bit longer this year, so I think it'll be 3 hours. Isabella, are you participating, right? Is it 1 to 4? 2 to 4?
It's like 1:15 is like the setup.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, then, and I gave Alicia this stuff. She's gonna have like a table with coloring, and then there's gonna be like an information table. I'm working to get some flyers together so we can have a flyer that will go for volunteering at Arts at the Creek and a little promo for Arts at the Creek on the table. As well as like, we'll put out some of the business cards. It doesn't sound like she really needs much help, but if we go there, we can check in with her. So she didn't have any other updates other than that. I do think that this year it sounds like I think they're holding it at the other side. So because of the splash pad, there's no space there really anymore. So they're gonna be at the other side of Wade Creek. I did tell Parks that like grab a sandwich board, we have them and use them because that's not as visible. So if you can, show up and support them. I plan on going and spending some money. It's good to support them. So that's update from Alicia / me. So Dave and Deborah, I know you have action on poetry.
Yes, we did the judging and have selected 17/19 poems. The consensus from the other judges was they would prefer to see each poet represented one time with one poem and not have any duplicates.
Right.
And do
Good idea.
17 for the first year.
Yeah.
So I said I would bring that back to a vote and we would vote on it. I also needed to check on the amount of the honorarium for Emily and Chelsea, because I just forgot what it was.
Somebody wrote it down.
Mhm.
Okay. And I have the forms to do that, just with something penciled in. I don't know if that's right or not.
I
We can-
remember $100 each, but I'm not positive that's accurate.
I think that,
I think
that's what I thought
that's
too, but
what I
I
thought
wasn't
too.
100% sure.
Yeah.
And Dave, I believe you were gonna work on the acceptance rejection letters and get those
Yeah.
to Alex to send out.
Yeah, I will be back in town about this time next week. I'm visiting family all over the place. And I'll go down and meet with Alex because she has all the original submissions. And if you leave the list with her, then we can work from that. And however we have to divide up the work, we'll do it.
And
I think
you,
you want to bring that up for a vote real quick about the, sounds like we all agree about.
okay, yeah,
I think I haven't seen any of that, but I think we're better off to have, one by each poet or each writer. That I think that variety is good.
Yeah, I agree. I think that sounds reasonable.
all right, so I'll make a motion that we limit each poet to one poem for our first year, which will give us 17 poems.
Out of how many submissions total? There was a lot.
7? No, it was over 70 with the extra bunch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can we
It was
have,
a
like a
lot.
moment of celebration about how many poems were
It's a
submitted? That's
stack.
incredible. Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
It'd be, I know it's probably not in good taste, but it'd be nice to at least publish all of them of what we had to, so there'd have some type of recognition. Would that be possible to represent all 60 or 70?
Well, it's not from many people submitted their total of 5.
Mhm.
So there's not that many.
Right, I know,
public.
but so the poems that were submitted, it'd be nice to at least, I mean, I'm sure they're wonderful.
I think that would have to be a separate
Tomorrow?
activity because we
Yeah.
solicited
That's a lot.
poems for this particular
Right.
project. And if we publish stuff in addition to that, without them knowing that that's what we're doing,
Oh,
I think that raises some problems for us.
Okay.
Now, if we
Yeah.
really wanted to do that, we could make another activity
Mhm.
and get back to those people and say, we would like to publish these. I think we'll get mixed results from that, but I think it has to be a separate activity and
thing.
with the author's acceptance of that separate activity.
that makes sense. We're gonna.
Hosting.
If Mike is talking, he needs
Yeah.
to move the
Are
mic.
you-
I just got the mic
Oh,
on.
okay.
Sorry. Dave, what do you think about that being an additional, the gains real high on that? An additional sort of in-person event that you sort of piggyback annually with the submission process, is that there's the submissions and then maybe there's some kind of a in-person event where people can read it, or they're sort of, we bring in a larger pool of judges, or you know what I mean, make an event out of it in some way.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Right now, I'm a little concerned about how far behind we are on
Oh.
what we're
I think we
planning to
thought
do.
about future,
Yeah.
future
But,
times.
yeah.
That is a great idea for us to
Mhm.
discuss in September, or just not at this meeting. Because we have a very
Yeah, we
agenda
might
tonight.
even be able to work on it next month and think about how things go. But yes, I think it's a good idea.
Awesome. Well, that sounds good. And then you're waiting for sign design from Vince?
From Vince. And then we'll also have to somehow decide where to place them. I know that Deborah prepared a list of places. And I think what I'd do is, when I get back and have to write the letters, I'll look at the selected poems, the locations, and make a tentative list. Take it to Deborah. We're the only 2 survivors of the subcommittee, I think. And we'll see if we can work it out and then at least inform you of what we're doing or planning to do. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yep.
That
sounds
After
good.
June
acceptable?
15th. I will consider helping you with that, but and before then, I am not available.
I mean, really, you're just talking about saying this poem goes here.
Let's hear, yeah.
So that sounds like yeah, we can figure that out once they're all printed and stuff too. We could probably move forward with printing
Okay.
them on the signs and stuff and then do that as the last.
Oh,
minute.
yeah, yeah, we've got, yeah. Okay,
Awesome. Great. That's
Right.
exciting.
okay.
All right.
They probably won't go
then-
up before June 15th because the service crew gets too busy to do mowing lawns to do much new stuff. So
Yeah.
see what happens there. Good.
All right. And then Deborah, you want to keep going?
Yes, art in the library. I did not bring my computer, so I don't remember the total number of submissions, but I think we have enough to do a nice amount at the library and here now. We need to decide on what day we want to get all the art together, what day we want to hang it, and potentially what day would work for a reception. My thought for reception, looking at the library calendar, would be June 5th, which is a Thursday night for the library. I don't know what we would do for reception down here, if we would just want to do it at the library. Program is called Art at the Library, but then we kind of expanded it, so that's kind of up in the air a little bit. And for
Could it be if we did
drop-off-
the reception? Could it be that we have some sort of other way we have easels or display all of the art there and then some of it gets moved here so that you're still, because you wouldn't want the artists to have all their art and then be like, but mine's not the one that's here. You know?
I don't have the bandwidth to organize moving the art twice.
How much art is there?
It doesn't matter how, I
That's just too
literally
much.
do not have time
Okay.
until after
I'm
June
just thinking
15th.
about the logistics of the reception.
And, you know, maybe we want to wait and do a midsummer reception.
Hmm.
Doesn't necessarily have to be when we install the show. We
Mhm.
can be flexible on that. I'm honestly thinking like, I might ask people to drop off on maybe Saturday or Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, and then come in on Memorial Day and hang it if Carl's available. I would love addition, let me rephrase that. I need additional help with hanging and doing labels and getting all of that stuff. This is my absolute busiest time of the year, with summer reading, planning, and doing promotion for that. So I really do need some help with this.
If it's
Um,
Memorial Day weekend, I'm available.
Okay. Yeah, but I think we can, once we have all the art on site, probably 2 or 3 hours, we could get it all hung at the library, and then with Carl down here, probably about the same here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to volunteer myself and my husband.
Okay,
You can count
awesome.
My child, you can come and help.
Thank you.
I think I will be available then, so is that gonna be at the library first or down here or at the hall? And what time of
it-
day?
Depends on what the availability is here. I can get into the library anytime. If it's on the weekend and we're doing installation, it should be before we open at noon. So that would need to be in the morning. So probably like 9 to 12 at the
Send a
library.
reminder email,
Yep.
okay, and
I think,
I'll try to be there.
if you make that decision, we will show up for you.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that seems to work for people. Memorial Day.
Yeah, I mean, I
weekend?
hate
Yep.
traveling on
Awesome.
Memorial Day weekend. It's the worst weekend to travel.
Mhm.
I love
And
it.
Isabel, if you're around, you're more than welcome to come. We'd love all, like literally all hands on deck.
Super. Okay.
So if you want to send that out and then.
I will. Of course, I also
Yeah.
want to make sure Carl can do that weekend. But the system at the library is pretty straightforward.
This will be more complicated.
Yeah, this one, hammer and nails, is a little more in depth. But we can kind of use what's available in here as well.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
You need anything else?
Potentially some crafty help with assembling labels. I can get them all printed, but then they would need to be adhered to foam core and cut. So just nice, clean little rectangles, and then they go up with blue painter's tape.
Okay.
So just
can-
some help assembling those would be great.
You can help with that, Beth?
Yeah, So when will we do it? Severely booked. Thank you.
Probably like, well, we'd want them to get up, so probably like that week before Memorial Day. Let me get back to
But you
Monday.
could probably get the,
Like Friday, the May 23rd, or the Saturday, the 24th. May 24th? Okay,
Maybe,
Saturday,
yeah, maybe that Friday would be good. Label making day.
23. So at library. To assemble. Thanks.
Cool, okay.
Um,
All right. Feeling better about that. Thank you.
deep breaths, we're all crazy at the time of year.
All right. So should we just
okay.
keep going with me and
Yeah,
we'll
you
s-
just
and then
keep
go
going.
back to you?
You're on a
Okay,
roll. Keep
chalk
going.
walk. We're nearing the end of the library fiscal year, so things are very tight. But potentially things are also, I mean, I'm already seeing that things are going up every time you look at your cart. So I
Fine.
feel if we're doing the chalk walk and giving out chalk, we need to order as soon as possible. Best price I found for 16 count boxes, in a 12 pack, they come to $3.40 per box. To stay in the amount that we budgeted, we'd order 17 cases, which would be approximately, would be 204 boxes of chalk. If somebody wants to do that times 16, if we're gonna do individual chalk, I don't know. But that gives us each library and arts commission $346.63, and we budgeted $350, so that's right on target for that. But we haven't talked about if we are doing the parade and giving out chalk at the parade or
We,
how we want to do that this year.
the commission said no to the parade.
Okay,
Nobody wanted to do it. I
So-
think everyone, like Alicia's out of town, you wanted to be at your house.
yeah,
I think everyone decided that was a lot. We talked about that at the February meeting,
okay,
and I have that in my minutes that we were kind of we were spread really thin and it would be very few people doing it.
sounds good. The 16 count boxes then were they don't have the 4-packs this year for some reason. I don't know why. But those have been really popular in the past. We'll split between library, Yo Treats, starting after the 4th of July, I was thinking. So it would be July 5th until July 25th at those locations. We could also do some at Art Smith and City, like just wherever
We'll
downtown wants to keep them out.
aside for
And
giving out
then-
at Arts at the Creek.
Okay,
Just like
keeping
a
some on
small- just a
reserve
couple.
and then whatever is left at that point for the 26th will all be at Arts at the Creek, was my thought. And maybe keep like 50 as a reserve and then any extras would go to that. Does that sound like a good
Sounds-
plan?
That sounds good to me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we
Alex?
talked about, cause it was like the chalk art thing didn't really go anywhere last year. And we previously had like chalk artists do blocks. But I don't know how we found those people. How did you find those people?
Just mostly word of mouth.
Cause we could put that out. I think that's kind of fun. It didn't cost that much to do. And it is like, we do have that issue part of there that's like city programs, events and artist promotion. Where we could give 4 to 8 people a block, and it could be downtown, it could be like on this new part of the street or even up at Weed Creek.
Mhm.
Just throwing it out there, it'd be an easy thing. We would just pay people and they would do it, right? So I think that could be kind of fun. And it wouldn't take any bandwidth on our part other than like making a post about it, right? And then paying them. Are you guys up for that? Ariella? We've drawn her in.
Yeah, no, it's not. If you do want to do that, I just know that our sister organization for Washington County, they've been doing trainings for people specifically to do chalk art because they put on this big chalk art festival. So if you do want to do a call, I can forward that over to them and you'll probably get some high quality applications.
Cool.
Yep, so that's easy.
That's great.
Good.
Nice.
Alex, I need to talk with you about our actual ordering and how that will work this year. Okay.
But could I make a motion to say, like, can we should we say like a certain amount or a certain number of people that we would have do that? I think it's a special way to really make it like, this is what you can do with this as an art form.
I don't understand your question.
I'm wondering if it's, if we can put forward like $25 is I think what you did before. And if we did $25 per block, how many blocks would we want to do? How many spots would we want people to do that? Because we would need to make that decision as a group.
I think there's 8 on Broadway. I don't know how many are here.
I don't know.
We'd
either.
have to count.
I feel like
We
we
have
could,
to do it every year. We have to go, somebody has to go, how many blocks are there? I don't remember.
but then we could have somebody do it just on like normal concrete up at Wade
Mhm.
Creek, right? So I think we could make more of a financial decision and then make
Yeah.
the spot choices later, right? Because we're not gonna even put the call out until June or July. anyway.
Maybe say 2.
200, like 8.
Yeah. Or 8 or 10.
Yeah, I think you need at least that money over that distance. You'd need at least 8 or 10 people to have it any effect.
Right,
Yeah,
downtown and up at the park,
It would
10.
be $250.
That sounds
10
good to
blocks,
me.
that's
10,
reasonable,
maybe
yeah.
2 up there and 8 spread through downtown and around here.
yeah, I would go with, I'll make a motion. We pay $25 to 10 chalk artists to give sample exhibits for this project.
Way to make the statement, Dave. I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm never sure what we need an official vote on, but we seem to have come to. a
Okay, aye. Yeah.
consensus.
Well, no.
We're not very official, or we're overly official sometimes. I'm not entirely
If we're
sure.
I think
spending money,
especially when
We're
we're,
spending money, yeah.
especially when we're spending money, and we can
But
always have motions and discuss them and change our minds and not pass them
Right.
to.
But I think this fits under our, like, this one piece of our budget where we have that issue
Mhm.
for things like this. So
Yep.
I think that's
Do we
great.
have any way of judging the art and recognizing the youth art and adult art and
We've not
some
been a
type of
part of that before.
recognition for that?
no, it's been very open, but
Very
if
low
that's
key.
something that you would like to take on, you're welcome
I
to.
know, I was just,
Yeah, if
Okay.
we have a whole bunch of people apply, maybe it's just how about let's kick that to June. Can we talk about that in June?
Sure.
We're not gonna put it out yet, so, and we still have Arts at the Creek, which is gonna take a small chunk. So yeah, what to do in the case of having too many people, because people might not have photographs of things, and we also wanna validate kind of different levels too. I don't think it all needs to be super professional. It's somebody that's gonna take the time and effort, who's local, maybe local is preferred. I don't know.
June it is.
Okay. Okay. Alex, can I ask officially, like I presented the work plan and the budget. We've heard nothing. Does that mean it's approved? When do they talk about that officially?
Budget. So budget will be approved weeks from now, maybe?
Okay,
Mhm.
So, but they're gonna change it, I don't think.
okay,
Unless the budget committee recommends.
okay.
It was in the minutes that council approved everything, but it's not approved until budget
Yes.
committee does?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because it's sort of, we set our piece and then they say, thank you. And you go, "Okay, you're welcome. I don't know what to do now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and nobody asked me any, right. Okay, great. So just thinking about Arts at the Creek, when we spoke about the music piece already, I talked with Alicia yesterday in preparation, and I'm trying really hard to delegate things this year. She is going to be putting out the volunteer thing at the Youth Makers Fair. She's also going to be getting a quote for our signage because we said that a big piece of that grant was going to be for
Mhm.
promotion. I just asked her to call up Lake Printing and say like, how much would these signs be? What kind of signage can we get for what price? Would love input from the group about like numbers of signs, sizes of signs, locations of signs. I would love some input. Do you have any input?
I think every neighborhood listed on the passport that you're taking out you need to have a visible sign.
So are we talking like, do we want to do, and we've already talked about like, we want to do it as the last Saturday in July, so we can keep the signs going. But do we want to do like a whole bunch of little tiny signs? Those we don't need permits for, so that's nice. But I also think that they have some of the bigger signs like Damascus does for their open studios that are like a couple roadside ones that are pretty good sized. It feels like it's worth it to put a couple of those up as well.
Well, and are you talking about permits like
We need the city is sort of cracked
the
down
city
on,
gives us?
the city
permits?
gives us the permit.
So it
Which
should
really
be
they'll
fairly
pass,
easy.
they'll let us, you have to get the okay from the property owner. You have to sort of say like the way you're installing it, the material.
Okay, I mean, I have materials, just T-posts or whatever to hang that stuff with, just zip ties and T-posts. I think the thoroughfare down here, turning off the bridge, she'd put something so that the people sitting at the stop sign see it. I'm sure that we could go. I'm sure that I could have
That's
a,
a no.
that's a no.
They'll take out.
Oh, well, I have recently interacted with James Heap, who owns the timber school. No?
But they-
all the signs all over their stuff.
On the fence? Oh, because I was gonna say, I
Alex,
hung one of our
where
signs
can we
there
hang
last year.
signs? Okay,
So it's not private property if it's on the outside of their fence?
if it's probably has,
That is a traffic
Interesting.
issue, and there was advertising for businesses that weren't at that location is kind of a whole
Interesting.
thing on what our sign code says.
Okay.
So, updating sign code is kind of a thing.
Okay, so
Okay.
maybe the question should be, who do we talk to at City Hall to get a list of the approved places to put signs
Yeah,
of
That's the right
sufficient
question.
size?
Thank you. Do you know the answer to that question?
Okay.
Who's the code person now?
Amy Leg, our code enforcement officer, dash.
Amy,
Leg, LEG,
okay.
and it's just code enforcement at cityinvestigator.org. And then Dawn would be another person. We could put on city property, wherever we want.
So could we put it just like out front right here? Okay.
Not along the highway, nothing along the highway, ODOT will take it.
could we put it on the lumberjack?
Signboard near Timber Park. There used to be a standing signboard there somewhere.
Was there used to be a city one?
I know it wasn't a city one. I think it's a private one because I know the cruise in gets advertised on it. But that would be, I think that one is just one of those like
Like
the
the
letters. No, like they put the letters on, you know, like
Oh,
the slidey
okay.
letter type.
Six login.
Okay,
James Moriarty would know the answer to that.
Yeah.
but that would be a
Is he
good
involved with the,
place. to
Yes,
put
he's
it.
running it.
oh, yeah, I'll ask him. He and I have been emailing about the night out and stuff, so I'll ask him about that signage. I do think that it would be worth it to have a whole bunch of yard signs and give them to people that have them on visible property.
Like out by the library, like out front of it, at community room.
Like the little yard signs we can put pretty much everywhere. And but there are a lot of people we all know collectively that might have like a corner, like you have a great corner or side.
Mhm.
But like little things like that, we could put them around. So we could do a combination of yard signs and I think a couple bigger ones. I'm sure there's got to be somebody we could talk to that has private property adjacent to ODOT property. Aaron A.N. Aaron? E-R-A-N?
E-R-A-N.
E-R-A-N, okay, Aaron. Good old what's
That
his
I
face.
don't know.
Never forget him. Okay, so we can ask her if she would maybe have like a big sign on her property. Yeah, I mean, that would be outside city limits, right? And it's not a bad idea because people go up Coupland all the time. People cross. Who? Oh, okay.
What about that at the school?
Okay, we're school property? We have to talk to the school district. This is great, guys. Thank you. I was like, I don't know how to do this. We said we're gonna do it. School district, I'll ask them also. Cause yeah, having it like in front of Clackamas River or one on or near the elementary schools where there's so much traffic going through.
And also maybe like in front of the high school.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Um,
yeah, cause that's where
yeah.
they're coming in. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we got the school district, that would be huge, cause then we can have like two. And they put those big ones where plenty of people see them. Okay,
Yeah.
I will send some emails out.
So were you thinking like quantity, like maybe like 25 yard signs and
One, two.
six
Maybe like
to
6 or,
10
yeah, 6,
big?
yeah, 6 to
if we
10
can afford
bigger.
it?
And I don't know what I mean by big, this size? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe like more like 4 by 6 or something. Yeah, and Alicia will get back with some prices on that, but like we did specifically budget that in at Arts at the Creek, so like that's where a big chunk of that grant money was gonna specifically go towards.
I know we have no official presence at July 4th, the parade. But that's just a few weeks before our date. I think it's pretty
How about before?
mandatory. If we could get co-op someone's float to have some type of banner that advertises or somehow leverage. We've got a captive audience here with thousands.
Mhm.
We need to leverage that.
Yeah, the banner will be up on Main Street. I think
You design it.
the banner one, I gave it to you. Yeah, and I emailed you about it and then you said, oh, it's right here. I'm happy to sign another one. But we do. No, it's okay. We had this email conversation already. We're so on it. We did it already, but I'm happy to sign another one if you don't want to look for it. So like signage, we're working on that. Like I said, I think I have 30, a little bit, maybe 32 vendor applications. We've basically been accepting most folks. I sent the email to the 3D people. They didn't respond, but that's okay. They were very compassionate in their response initially, so I think that's okay. And I did have to say no thank you to the alcohol. It was like a distillery, craft distillery, based on city rules. So other than that, we're saying yes to lots of people. I'm hoping that we get a lot of people. We've got a huge variety, everything from like glass art to coffee, to knitting, to painting, to photographs. We also have at least one spiral gallery artist coming, which is super exciting. And I think it's actually Beat Scheller who has her show up right now. So just really excited to have like one of our co-op artists show up at the event. That's really exciting. And most people are saying yes to the raffle as well. So really excited about that. I think we have about 9 community organizations. Still, like I said, open call for that. We'd love to have some more people come. I have not heard back from the fire department. I'm not entirely sure unless they want to be there with like a booth. It has not had a whole lot of draw for the community. We do have to like have a big, huge part of the parking area open for them. Last year, everyone thought there was a crisis because they showed up. Literally, everyone was like, oh no, why is the fire department here? And I was like, oh no, that's not the response we want.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I don't know what you guys think. Huh?
Give some kind of visual identification.
Balloons. We're here in good faith. Yeah. I mean, they came for last year. It was like we're going noon to 6. They came for like an hour and a half in the middle of it. I'm just not sure it was worth the like blocking off that part of the parking lot for them. No, not at all.
I would
I mean,
skip it.
We're doing community organizations. We reached out to them because everyone loves a firefighter, but like I said, I'm just not sure it's worth the payoff for how little they're there for. Everybody loves a firefighter. My kid's obsessed with firefighters. Anytime there's a firefighter around.
Yeah,
Um,
I think space wise, that we're better off to
Right.
skip it, especially since they can't be there for the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the parking lot is already significantly more crowded
Mhm.
from the splash pad.
Mhm.
So we are going to want to have as much parking available as
Yeah.
possible.
Yes, for sure. Okay, well, I will not hound them. They did not respond and I will just
Mhm.
let that lie.
Yep.
And if they reach out, we'll have a conversation about how they could show up in a different way if possible. On the parking end, I have reached out to the Galley Marble folks. I haven't heard back from him. I just need to show up at a time when I know he'll be there. I feel very confident that he'll be fine with that again. He was fine with it last year. It made a huge impact on our parking to
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
that space. Lots of comments from people about how much parking was easier just having that space there. And the one thing I actually wanted to ask Alex, although I'm not entirely sure if you know the answer to this. We had talked about having like a bounce house kind of thing. Is that, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. We talked about it when you weren't there and I was like, this feels like a liability issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, so we had talked before about having some sort of shining, exciting thing at the end, because it's the one thing they didn't really think about with this park is to like draw people through. So we kind of have this issue of like the heart of it being here, and then the people who are at the end were just sort of not visited.
Mhm.
So, it doesn't have to be, we don't have to have all the answers to this right now, but a couple of things that we had floated, I think Alicia and Mike and I maybe talked about like making it specifically all the activities, putting them together. And then having that be all at the end, but then you worry that it's not gonna like really draw people through. We just don't have another answer to that. If anyone has any. Like free popsicles?
Will having the splash
Rob?
pad there make any difference in that, do you think? Is there any way that that would be attractive to people coming for the?
Yeah, I mean,
Park.
it could for sure, because there's something more exciting at the other park at the
Mhm.
other end.
I
Yeah.
like the idea of putting the community free activities at that end, because that does draw the families that are bringing kids that want to have
Mhm.
something to do that might not necessarily be there for shopping. They're going to go that way to have their kids make a little something or the other.
Paul and I talked about, my husband and I talked about how it would be good maybe to have something like symbolic at the end, like even if they have, I'm thinking about like when they did Trick or Trot, they had like an inflatable arch thing, like
Mhm.
something big
Mhm.
like that, something like a banner or a gate or an archway at the end that would sort of signal like activities and things down here.
Get some of
Just-
those get some of the car dealers, blow up
Uh,
dummies that flap up and down. wave
Wacky
their-
wavy inflatable arm guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, wacky wavy. Yeah,
Or
something like
maybe
that.
like a
Or,
bigger scale community project like the graffiti board. That was really popular, but
mhm.
what if we did it with like a big piece of canvas? So kind of taking off the quilt idea,
yeah.
but that everybody could like sign or draw on this big canvas.
Mhm.
It's like a memento
Yeah,
of
it'd be
the
great.
event.
I think that's a really good idea.
Where'd that end up going? The graffiti board?
I think Vince still has it in his garage. It didn't get like displayed anywhere. But if we had something where it would be for some sort of display, like we could spray over it or seal over it and then have it displayed for a period of time, that would be cool. It would be meaningful to have that like up for a little while. I know kids really enjoyed that, and that was really cool. But we could have that same thing, but have more with like the big dauber, like more markers and stuff and less spray paint.
And if you have a
It
sample
was super
from,
windy that day.
if you have a sample from previous activities, you could put that by it to sort of stimulate the drawing on the graffiti board.
Yeah, I mean, we probably really could use that same board again
Mhm.
and just
Mm.
like gesso or paint over it
Yeah.
to start and do that again. So, and we can, yeah.
But that and the big wavy arm guys. I like that.
I just like,
Those
I
are
feel like
fun.
we need something like fun and shiny and like, come over here. That's not a bad idea. They have different varieties of them. We gotta get creative. You gotta get something to get the kids to run that way and the parents follow them and
Yeah.
drag them down to the end.
Obviously,
Um,
that's something every arts commission should have.
Necessary purchase.
Yeah.
Right next to our collage supplies, one box of collage supplies, one wacky wavy inflatable arm guy. Okay, well, if we just want to keep, if you guys just keep thinking about it, like, let's go ridiculous and fun and silly. We just want to like, we want to make it fun and silly and we want to make sure that people get seen all the way through.
Mhm.
So that was just another thought about that. And Timbertown backed out. They apparently had some event that they go to every year and have done it for 5 years. And they found out after they said yes to me that that event was on the same weekend.
Mm.
She felt terrible. She sent me several emails like, I'm so sorry. I'll ask this person. I'll ask this person. That being said, our current food situation is about the same as last year, minus cheer. So we have kettle corn. We have our GDC frozen treats. We have Christie's. And with Girl Scouts, or not Girl Scouts. Scouts will be there selling like prepackaged drinks and food. And Alicia was looking to talk more to Ivan. She was going to reach out to him again, who's with Boba Blastic. That being said, if anyone wants to or can reach out to just like one person, with all the other things that I personally am doing for this event, like I just don't have bandwidth. For me personally, if we just had what we have, that's just going to be what it is this year, unless I get some other help, because there's just way too much going on for me to chase this one down all by myself. So
I've been contacting different food truck associations, and they almost all want a guarantee of like $1,200 up front.
that was this issue with like Kona Shave Ice is the same thing. If you can't guarantee that they're going to be a
Right.
huge turnout, that you have to
They
basically
wanted
pay for
upfront
them.
down payment,
Yeah.
and
Which is
then
like,
work off that.
we're a nonprofit.
So-
sort of.
So what are the rules if we had like an open loaded hot dog thing with fundraising going to the Arts Council? I mean, what's,
You have to comply with
do we have
all
to-
Oregon food safety, everything.
Yeah.
We got away with it the first year because no one was being that official about things. So we had Boy Scouts with hot dogs and we had a chicken wing lady who was like a local lady who made amazing food. But now that we have to have all this like all by the regulation, it just changes things.
Yeah, and you just have to, have good handler's license,
right?
good hand washing station.
I just think we don't have enough volunteers to run that all day long. So, please reach
With
out
the-
to people.
With the time of day that we're running, we're kind of between meals, so having snacks
Junk food.
might be sufficient.
Yeah, I mean, and Christy will be there. She will be
Mhm.
better staffed and have more supplies. She was underprepared last year because she thought it was like a smaller thing, like a concert at the park.
Mm.
And she sold a ton. I mean, she was busy. If we can provide a ton of business to her, we're not doing anybody wrong and everybody can have burgers and fries. It's not going to be the end of the world. It would just be great to have like one more different kind of food.
Oh,
So if we could just keep asking around, I just personally am just gonna admit that that piece of it is just way beyond my bandwidth because I'm busy doing all the other pieces of it. If we could just ask around, I would appreciate the networking support with that. So that's really the end of my update. SOS on food carts. Everything else is going great. Timber Core is gonna show up with their van full of kids twice again to make everything magical for everybody.
oh,
We're gonna buy them pizza this year, we decided. I think
Good,
we were gonna do
great.
pizza and popsicles because they wouldn't accept anything else. So we're just gonna not ask them and provide it. We're just gonna thank them whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, that's sort of Arts of the Creek.
I think there were different kids in the morning
It's a different set.
and in
Mhm.
the evening, so maybe
We'll do something different in the
do
morning.
like donuts or pastries in the morning and pizza in
Yeah.
the evening. Okay.
Yeah, it was 2 different sets of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And then we were gonna do a tie-dye for volunteers again, like the week beforehand. If you're up
Cool.
for that. And you
Okay.
don't have to be, as long as you
I
can
can
get the
make
tie-dye.
the supplies available.
Yeah, and that's just for, like our new commissioners, if we have any volunteers that come,
Mhm.
we have 1,000 t-shirts, so we can make that work. And we all have shirts, right, from
Yep.
last year?
Yes.
Do you have a t-shirt
I
as well?
found
Matt?
mine.
Great. Nice.
Yes,
Sorry, my
yes.
phone's going off.
So we're good.
So yeah, so that's Arts at the Creek. And yeah, update again about that soon. Sorry, my phone's going off. And community updates and arts opportunities. I was really maxed out this month, so I just got those 2 on there. I apologize. I did not do the deep dive. There were a lot of open calls. Our open calls were out there. There were a lot of things happening. I just got really maxed out and was not able to list them all there. So I apologize for a short list.
I have one.
Great.
Chelsea will be at the library on Wednesday, May 21st to do a collage workshop. And I
Great.
believe she might actually be using our supplies.
Yeah, we talked
So,
about that.
okay.
She sent me an email. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Has the library put a thing together? Because we should promote that.
Yes, Zach made a great flyer for it.
Okay.
I will,
Can you have him share it?
yes,
May what?
May 21st, Wednesday from 6 to 7.
6 to 7 collage. Do we have any other involvement other than providing supplies?
I don't know.
Okay, they're not needing anything else from us?
I don't know
Okay.
what arrangements Zach has made with Chelsea.
Okay,
Um,
I'll email him and just tell him what I have and see what he needs.
Okay.
Okay.
If he offered an honorarium and that didn't get approved, apologies.
They asked if I will reference, let me check. my
Okay.
email. I'll just check my email really quick about that. I remember talking about it or getting an email about it. Because we have we have cutting boards and X-Acto knives and scissors and some glue maybe.
So maybe could we make a motion on that right now that potentially to approve that if there is one? You can find the email.
Just- It says, would the Arts Commission, this was from you, would the Arts Commission be interested in sponsoring a collage program at the library? I'm pretty sure we still have supplies and budget for an honorarium. So you suggested the budget for the honorarium. Do we,
But I don't know if Zach and Chelsea discussed that anymore. So
okay, so
was there follow-up past that?
she just said, I'm always down to talk and make collages.
Okay.
I think it would behoove us, so we don't have to talk about this later, that in the case of an honorarium, I would make a motion that if there is an agreement and we are co-sponsoring the event, I would say if we're providing the honorarium and a lot of the supplies, that the Arts Commission should be added to the flyer as a co-sponsor. And if that's the case, I would think that I would make a motion that we would provide Chelsea the same honorarium that we've provided workshop people in the past, which would be $100 for the workshop.
Mhm.
And just for the record, she has done it for free for us
I second
several times. So
that
Thank you,
motion.
Dave.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That also falls under that, like our community events.
Mhm.
But I do think if we're gonna provide the honorarium and the supplies, that we should
Yeah.
make sure we're co-sponsored or whatever.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
easy. They can revise the flyer easily enough.
Yeah,
Just
we
throw
can
the
put it
logo
on our
there.
thing and make
Mhm.
sure that it's accounted for.
I will talk to them tomorrow morning about it.
Okay, great. So I'm not gonna email Zach then, or do you want me to email him still about supplies? What's in the, card? Or email you? Let me email Zach.
Email Zach, yes, please.
Okay. I don't wanna overload you about supplies. Okay, great. I have my own community update, but it's not really related to local. I put on my school's art night
Mm.
last week. It's like the 5th time we've done it, and it's like my legacy thing. I started it at my school years ago, and we've only taken a break for COVID. It's phenomenal. We put artwork up where we did a community weaving activity with like fencing I got from local Estacada people, and just weaving material from Deborah, like sponsored by our community. Amazing. And then we also put on an immersive black light under the ocean exhibit. So I blacked out in an entire room, and we did like a black light exhibit with fluorescent and neon art from all kids from kindergarten to 5th grade. And it was like phenomenal. And I am exhausted. So that's just my personal thing that I like to share. Super fun. And I like to add to it every year. It's sort of my little legacy thing at my school. So
Nice.
super excited about it. If you want to see a video, I'll show you because I'm
Yes,
really proud of
yes,
it. It was
Yes.
pretty cool. It was pretty epic. In the name of like seeing things online and being like, let's try it. And we did. And it was amazing. And I think we should all do more things we see online because wow, it was incredible. And not all of them, selectively, selectively. All right. Well, that was a windfall. Does anybody else have anything to bring up before we go, Ariella? I'm sorry, I should have asked you in the very beginning. I apologize.
Yeah, just wanted to, this is on our website, but we're having a workshop. We're trying to target specifically younger people interested in careers in the arts, although that could also be people transitioning from one career to another. It's in Oregon City at the Clackamas Community College campus. So I recognize it's a little far away from here, but the opportunity, we're trying to consider it as like a service to the whole county and the whole community. I did get in touch with the high school art teacher, Janice. I haven't heard back from her, which is fine. I know how it is as a teacher, but if anyone wants a flyer to put up somewhere, happy to offer those. And
Are
just
you able
wanted
to
let you
take
know
one
about
and
it.
see if she'll put it up?
Great. Awesome. That'd be
That'd
great.
be
Thank
great.
you. And we're going to
Awesome.
try to make a recording of it available as well, because it's likely that people won't be able to come. And that way it can be useful. This is specifically for visual arts, I should say, but that way it'd be useful, you know, classes in the fall, whatever.
That's cool. That'll be
And
like
it should be
online.
really cool. We're going to have graphic designers, teachers, art therapists, someone who does curation and collections management and repair, an illustrator. So it should be a really good spread of career possibilities because there are jobs.
Yeah.
Which
Love
is
it.
good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's May 15th.
Great.
Nice.
That is the one other thing that I got on the community arts update. No, that's okay. That's okay. I just got you covered. Got you covered. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, if
I would like a point of personal privilege to briefly thank Alex for giving me the technical and emotional support for doing this online meeting.
Woo!
She's been very helpful, and I'll see her next week when we work on the letters for the responses for the writing contest.
You did great, Dave.
All over it. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for being here, and we'll call the meeting to order at 7:39. Do the thing. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Bye-bye.